Today I want to speak to you about the woman who walks alone. She is not alone because she is abandoned or forgotten, but because she understands something that many do not. She understands the power of purpose. She understands that her journey is not dictated by the opinions or expectations of others. There is a unique strength in walking alone. You see, sometimes the path of greatness requires solitude. It requires separation from the noise, the distractions, and the limitations of the world. The woman who walks alone is not afraid to stand apart because she knows that her purpose is too important to be influenced by the crowd. In the world today, we often define success by the number of people who walk with us. But let me tell you something. Your purpose is not determined by who is with you. It's determined by who you are becoming and the impact you are destined to make. When God created you, He gave you a unique assignment, a purpose that only you can fulfill. And sometimes that purpose requires you to walk alone. I'm not talking about loneliness. I'm talking about walking in the fullness of your potential, without fear of being misunderstood or rejected. The woman who walks alone is not lonely because she understands that her connection is with a higher calling. She knows that she is walking in alignment with her purpose, and that is more fulfilling than any crowd could ever be. The woman who walks alone understands a fundamental truth that many fail to grasp. Her purpose is far more important than the approval of the crowd. In a world that often measures success by popularity and external validation, she chooses a different path. She realizes that her worth is not tied to the opinions of others or the social pressures that tell her what she should be. Instead, she understands that the true power lies in embracing the unique purpose she has been given. When you walk in purpose, you are not seeking the applause of those around you, but rather the satisfaction of knowing that every step you take is aligned with a deeper calling. There is no secret ones, there are but simple ones. Simply, popularity can be fleeting. The world may praise you one day, but it can just as easily turn against you the next. The applause is shallow, and the approval of the crowd often comes with conditions. But the woman who walks alone knows that her purpose is unconditional. It is inherent to who she is, and it does not change with public opinion. The pursuit of popularity often leads us down paths that are not aligned with our true selves. We start to make decisions based on what will make us more liked, more accepted, and more visible to others. The woman who walks alone, however, is not swayed by this temptation. She recognizes that popularity is a poor substitute for purpose. She doesn't measure her success by how many people are following her or how many likes her posts get. Instead, she measures her success by how closely her actions align with the mission she is meant to fulfill in this world. It is so easy to get caught up in the desire for approval, especially in today's world of social media, where validation can be found in seconds. But this kind of approval is fragile. It's based on fleeting moments and changing trends. When you base your sense of worth on these external measures, you are always vulnerable to the whims of others. The woman who walks alone knows that her foundation is far stronger. A sense of worth comes from within, from understanding that her existence is for a purpose far greater than simply being liked. She understands that she was created to impact the world, to change lives, and to fulfill an assignment that cannot be done by anyone else. Purpose is constant. It is steady, it is unshakable, and it stands the test of time. The woman who walks alone embraces her purpose with a deep understanding that it is not defined by the world's standards of success or popularity. She knows that as long as she is walking in her true purpose, she is succeeding, regardless of how many people recognize or celebrate it. The purpose that drives her is internal, and it is more than enough to sustain her when the world goes silent or when others fail to understand. This woman is willing to face opposition, criticism, and even isolation because she knows that her purpose is not dependent on the approval of others. She may walk alone in her journey, but she is never without direction or significance. She understands that her purpose has been ordained and that no amount of external validation could ever compare to the fulfillment she experiences by walking in alignment with it. She finds joy not in the applause, but in the knowledge that she is living authentically, and in doing so, she is making a difference. When you understand that your purpose is more important than popularity, you begin to walk with confidence. You stop living in the shadow of others and start creating your own path. The woman who walks alone is not alone because she is disconnected from the world, but because she is connected to a higher calling that requires her to remain focused on what truly matters. She is not distracted by the noise around her. She listens to the voice of her purpose, which gives her direction and strength. So let this truth sink in. Your purpose is far more important than the fleeting approval of the crowd. When you walk in your purpose, you walk with conviction, knowing that you are doing exactly what you were created to do. And even if no one else notices or celebrates it, you can find fulfillment in the simple fact that you are living out the assignment that was placed in your heart. Walking alone often gives you the space to find your true strength. The woman who walks alone isn't isolated because of abandonment, but rather she understands that solitude provides an opportunity for clarity, growth, and transformation. In a world that thrives on noise, distractions, and the constant pull of others' expectations, walking alone can be one of the most powerful choices she can make. It is in solitude that she begins to tap into a deeper understanding of herself, her purpose, and her potential. When you walk alone, you are free from the noise that constantly seeks to pull you in different directions. The distractions that come from the opinions of others, the pressure to conform, and the need to fit in are stripped away. This gives you the space to listen more intently to the voice of your inner self, the voice that knows who you truly are and what you are meant to do. In this space, you find the power to reconnect with your deepest desires, dreams, and goals. Without the interference of outside forces, you can think clearly, plan intentionally, and move with purpose. It is easy to lose yourself in a world that constantly demands your attention and validation. Society often tells us that we must be surrounded by people, constantly connected to others, and driven by external approval. Yet, the woman who walks alone understands that her strength does not come from the approval of the crowd or the number of people who follow her. It comes from within. She understands that true power is not about fitting in, but about standing firm in who you are, no matter how many people are walking beside you. Solitude allows you to reconnect with your inner wisdom. When you are constantly surrounded by people, it becomes difficult to hear your own voice amidst the noise. But when you walk alone, You create the space for self-reflection. In those quiet moments, you begin to understand what truly drives you, what excites you, and what you are deeply passionate about. The woman who walks alone is not afraid to sit with her thoughts and confront her fears. She knows that the answers she seeks are already within her. The challenge is simply taking the time to listen, to reflect, and to grow. Walking alone also gives you the opportunity to develop resilience. Life is full of challenges, and it is easy to become discouraged when others are not walking alongside you. But when you walk alone, you learn to rely on your inner strength and trust that you have the ability to overcome any obstacle. It is in solitude that you discover your true resilience, the strength to keep moving forward, even when no one is there to cheer you on. You realize that you are capable of handling the hardships that come your way. And this knowledge empowers you to keep going no matter the circumstances. Moreover, the woman who walks alone learns to embrace her independence. Independence is not about being self-sufficient to the point of isolation, but rather about recognizing that your sense of value does not depend on others. You are not defined by the people who walk with you or the roles that others expect you to play. Your value is intrinsic, and it comes from knowing that you are uniquely equipped for your journey. When you walk alone, you gain confidence in your ability to make decisions, navigate challenges, and stay true to your path without being influenced by the expectations of others. The solitude of walking alone also fosters self-discipline. Without the constant influence of others, the woman who walks alone has to rely on her own discipline to stay focused on her goals. It is easy to become distracted when others are around, pulling you in different directions. But when you walk alone, you must create your own structure and find the motivation within yourself to stay on track. This discipline, born of solitude, becomes a powerful force that keeps you aligned with your purpose, no matter the external circumstances. In addition, walking alone allows for a deeper connection with your spirituality or higher calling. Without the distractions of the world, you can tune in more deeply to your spiritual life and the guidance that comes from a higher power. The woman who walks alone recognizes that she is not truly alone because she is accompanied by something greater than herself. Whether it is through prayer, meditation, or reflection, walking alone creates a sacred space where she can grow closer to her source of strength, wisdom, and purpose. Finally, walking alone doesn't mean walking aimlessly. It means walking with direction, clarity, and purpose. The woman who walks alone understands that her journey is intentional, and while the path may be challenging, it is always leading her to something greater. She embraces the solitude, knowing that it is in these moments that she truly discovers who she is and what she is capable of achieving. In the silence, she hears the call of her destiny and finds the strength to pursue it with unwavering faith. So walking alone is not an act of weakness, but one of profound strength. It is in solitude that you find the power to grow, to reflect, and to become the woman you were always meant to be. The woman who walks alone understands the importance of walking with vision. It is not enough to simply exist or to go through life based on the whims of others or the demands of the world. She knows that every step she takes must be purposeful, aligned with the vision she holds for her life. Vision is the compass that guides her, the light that illuminates her path, and the fuel that keeps her moving forward, even when the road is uncertain. Walking with vision means that every choice, every decision, and every action is taken with a clear understanding of where she wants to go. It's not about blindly following the crowd or taking the most popular route. The woman who walks alone is not concerned with fitting into a mold that someone else has created for her. Instead, she is determined to walk in the direction of her destiny, even if that path seems unconventional or misunderstood by others. Vision gives her the clarity to see beyond her current circumstances. It enables her to understand that where she is today is not where she is meant to stay. The woman who walks alone knows that her current reality is only temporary and that she is destined for something greater. It is this vision that allows her to persevere through difficult times because she sees the bigger picture. When others might give up, she keeps moving forward because she understands that the journey is leading her to something far more meaningful than the challenges she faces in the moment. When you have a clear vision for your life, distractions lose their power. Life will always present obstacles, distractions, and people who may try to sway you from your path. But the woman who walks alone is not easily swayed because she has a vision that is anchored deep within her. She is driven by a sense of purpose that cannot be deterred by temporary setbacks or external pressures. End quote. This vision acts as a filter through which she makes decisions, determining what is worth her time and energy and what needs to be let go of. One of the most powerful aspects of vision is that it gives you a sense of direction. It's easy to feel lost or unsure when there is no clear sense of where you are heading. But the woman who walks alone doesn't wander aimlessly. She walks with intention, knowing exactly where she wants to go. Her vision serves as the blueprint for her life, providing her with a roadmap for the future. It helps her to stay focused and to stay committed to the goal she has set for herself. She does not wait for permission or approval from others to pursue her vision. She takes action, one step at a time, knowing that each step brings her closer to the fulfillment of her purpose. Vision also gives her the strength to overcome obstacles. When you are walking without a vision, every challenge can feel like a roadblock, a reason to turn back. But the woman who walks alone sees obstacles not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth. She understands that every challenge is a part of the process that will ultimately bring her closer to the realization of her vision. The woman with vision does not allow difficulties to deter her. Instead, she faces them head-on, using each experience as a lesson that strengthens her resolve and deepens her understanding of her purpose. Moreover, vision gives her the power to remain true to herself. In a world that constantly tries to pull people in different directions, it's easy to lose sight of who you are and what you truly want. The woman who walks alone is not influenced by the opinions of others or the pressure to conform. Her vision is her guiding force, and it keeps her grounded in who she is and who she is becoming. She does not compare her journey to others because she understands that her vision is unique to her. It is this clarity that allows her to embrace her individuality and to confidently move forward, regardless of how others may perceive her path. Having vision also empowers her to make difficult decisions. Life is full of choices, and not all of them are easy. The woman who walks alone does not make decisions based on what is popular or what others expect of her. Instead, she makes decisions based on what aligns with her vision. She asks herself, does this choice bring me closer to my purpose? Does it align with the future I am creating? If the answer is no, she has the courage to walk away, even if it means walking alone. She knows that true fulfillment comes from staying true to her vision, even if it requires sacrifice or discomfort in the short term. Finally, vision brings fulfillment. The woman who walks alone does not need the validation of others to feel fulfilled. Her fulfillment comes from within, from the knowledge that she is living according to her true purpose. The satisfaction that comes from pursuing her vision is deeper and more lasting than any external achievement or recognition. When you walk with vision, you walk with a sense of meaning and purpose that transcends the superficial goals of the world. You understand that you are here for something greater, and that every step you take brings you closer to fulfilling that higher calling. In the end, walking with vision is what sets the woman who walks alone apart. It is what keeps her focused, determined, and resilient, even when the path is difficult or unclear. It is her vision that makes her journey worth it, giving her the strength to move forward, regardless of the obstacles that may arise. And as she walks with vision, she becomes the woman she was always meant to be, fulfilling her purpose and changing the world in the process. The fear of walking alone is, in many ways, the fear of embracing your purpose. So often, we are conditioned to believe that we need the approval or company of others to feel secure in our choices. The idea of walking alone can seem daunting, unsettling, and even isolating, because it often means stepping away from what is familiar and comfortable. However, this fear is not something to avoid. When you fear walking alone, what you are truly fearing is the unknown, the potential to fully step into who you are meant to be, and the greatness you are capable of achieving. The woman who walks alone understands that her purpose requires a level of courage that few are willing to embrace. This fear of aloneness is rooted in the uncertainty of the journey ahead. It's the fear of stepping into unfamiliar territory where no one can guide you and where no one can guarantee success. It's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, and the fear of facing the world without the familiar comfort of others' validation. But what many fail to realize is that these fears are not signs of weakness. They are signs of growth. Every step into the unknown is a step closer to realizing your potential, to discovering who you truly are, and to fulfilling the destiny that is uniquely yours. To walk alone requires self-confidence and the courage to trust yourself. It means understanding that the world does not define you, but that you are the one who defines yourself. The woman who walks alone knows that her journey is not dependent on the company of others. She understands that if she is to discover her true purpose and fulfill her unique calling, she must first be willing to face the fear of isolation, rejection, and the unknown. She chooses to embrace these fears because she knows that they are the gateways to her transformation. When you walk alone, the fear of being misunderstood or criticized becomes real. The world often tells us to conform, to follow the crowd, to fit in. But the woman who walks alone knows that fitting in is not her destiny. Her purpose requires her to stand apart, to rise above societal expectations, and to embrace the unique path that only she can walk. This requires strength, resilience, and a deep belief in the worth of her vision. She is not afraid of being misunderstood because she knows that those who are meant to walk with her will come when the time is right. She understands that walking alone does not mean walking in isolation forever. It means walking in alignment with her purpose until the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances align. The fear of walking alone also stems from the belief that we need others to validate our work. In a world that thrives on approval, it's easy to think that our significance is tied to the opinions of others. We seek validation in relationships, in careers, and in social circles, believing that we need these external markers to feel complete. But the woman who walks alone has learned that true validation comes from within. She does not need to seek approval from anyone because she already knows her worth. She understands that her value is not determined by what others think of her, but by the purpose she was created to fulfill. When you fear walking alone, you are, in essence, fearing the recognition of your own worth. But the moment you embrace the truth that your purpose is bigger than external validation, the fear begins to fade. There is a profound power in walking alone because it forces you to rely on your own strength, your own guidance, and your own conviction. You are forced to trust yourself, to take risks, and to make decisions without the influence of others' opinions. The woman who walks alone understands that in those quiet moments when she is faced with doubt, uncertainty, and fear, it is precisely in those moments that she discovers her greatest strength. When no one is there to guide her, she must rely on her inner wisdom. When no one is cheering her on, she learns to cheer for herself. It is in this solitude that she finds her voice, her resilience, and the courage to keep moving forward, even when the world around her seems silent. The fear of walking alone often hides a deeper fear, the fear of success. Success is not simply about reaching a destination. It is about stepping into the fullness of your potential, and that can be a frightening thing. When you walk alone, you are no longer shielded by the comfort of others' expectations. You are no longer able to hide behind what others want you to be. Instead, you must stand in the truth of who you are and the responsibility that comes with your purpose. The fear of walking alone is often the fear of embracing the success that comes with fulfilling your true calling. Success requires responsibility, accountability, and a willingness to face the unknown, which is why many shy away from it. But the woman who walks alone understands that this success is part of her journey. It is part of the reason she was created. She does not shrink from it, but steps into it with courage and determination. Ultimately, the fear of walking alone is the fear of becoming the person you were meant to be. It's the fear of stepping into your true identity and embracing the purpose that you were born to fulfill. But once you choose to face this fear, you realize that the fear itself is the very thing that holds the key to your transformation. Walking alone is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength, a sign that you are willing to trust yourself, embrace your purpose, and walk with confidence toward your destiny. The fear dissipates when you step into your power and understand that your journey is not about anyone else's approval, but about fulfilling the unique calling that lies within you. The woman who walks alone understands that she is not meant to follow, but to lead. She is aware that leadership is not always about holding a position of authority or being at the front of the pack. True leadership begins from within. It starts with the courage to walk a path that is uniquely her own, even if it means stepping away from the crowd. Leadership is not simply about guiding others. It's about having the strength to walk in your own truth, to rise above the distractions, and to remain focused on the path that you know you must walk, regardless of whether or not anyone else follows. Many people are conditioned to think that leadership requires the approval of others or a visible platform to be effective. Society tells us that to be a leader, we must be admired popular, or well-connected. But the woman who walks alone knows that leadership is a quality that is cultivated from within. It is the ability to stay true to yourself and your purpose no matter what others say or do. She leads not by forcing others to follow her, but by setting an example, by demonstrating the power of walking in her purpose with unwavering conviction. When you walk alone, you are not following the trends, the popular opinions, or the expectations of others. You are paving your own path. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life and follow the footsteps of others, especially when the path is well trodden and promises safety. But the woman who walks alone understands that true leadership requires courage, independence, and a willingness to stand out from the crowd. She is not afraid to be different because she knows that the world needs more individuals who are willing to walk to the beat of their own drum. Her strength lies not in blending in, but in embracing her uniqueness. One of the greatest qualities of leadership is the ability to inspire others. While it may seem like walking alone isolates you from the world, the opposite is true. The woman who walks alone leads by example. She inspires others not through words alone, but through her actions. By choosing to walk in her own truth, she gives permission for others to do the same. Leadership is often about showing others that it is possible to walk a different path and still succeed. The woman who walks alone becomes a beacon of possibility for those who feel constrained by the expectations of society or the opinions of others. She does not seek to control or manipulate others. Instead, she creates an environment where others can find their own strength and purpose. Walking alone requires discipline, focus, and resilience, traits that are essential for true leadership. When you are surrounded by others, it is easy to get distracted, to be pulled in different directions, or to allow the opinions of others to influence your decisions. But when you walk alone, you learn to rely on your own judgment. You develop a sense of self-discipline that keeps you on track, no matter how tempting it may be to follow the crowd. Some feel silences, and some, are strangers. This focus and discipline are the very qualities that make the woman who walks alone a powerful leader. She knows that her purpose is worth the sacrifices, and she remains committed to it, even when the road is difficult or lonely. Moreover, leadership requires the ability to make difficult decisions and to take risks. The woman who walks alone is not afraid of making unpopular choices or going against the grain. She understands that sometimes leadership means standing alone in the face of opposition and making decisions that others may not understand or agree with. It takes immense courage to make these decisions, but the woman who walks alone knows that she must stay true to her values and her vision, even when it is uncomfortable. She doesn't wait for the approval of others to move forward. She takes the risks because she believes in the greater purpose that is driving her. Leadership also requires the ability to handle criticism and judgment. The woman who walks alone is not immune to these things. In fact, when you walk a path that others may not understand, criticism is often inevitable. But instead of shrinking back or allowing the judgment of others to deter her, she uses it as fuel. She understands that criticism is simply a reflection of others' fear or misunderstanding, and that it does not define her worth or her capabilities. The ability to handle criticism with grace and to keep moving forward despite it is a key quality of leadership. The woman who walks alone does not let the negativity of others derail her from her mission. She uses it as a reminder of why she is on this journey and why she must continue, regardless of what others may say. Another important aspect of leadership is the willingness to serve others. True leadership is not about commanding or controlling. It's about serving those around you, empowering them, and helping them to discover their own potential. The woman who walks alone understands that her journey is not only about her, it is about using her experiences, her strength, and her wisdom to lift others up. Leadership is not about elevating yourself above others, it is about elevating everyone around you. The woman who walks alone leads by giving, by inspiring others to step into their own leadership and to walk boldly in their own purpose. Ultimately, leadership is about being authentic. The woman who walks alone understands that her power lies in her authenticity. She does not try to be someone she is not, nor does she try to fit into a mold that others have created for her. She embraces her true self, flaws and all, and leads with integrity, humility, and authenticity. Leadership is about being real with yourself and others and staying true to your values and your purpose, no matter how difficult the journey may be. The woman who walks alone leads because she is willing to be herself, to take risks, and to stand firm in her purpose. She does not seek to follow others. Instead, she paves the way for others to follow her example. She understands that leadership is not about being at the front, but about being true to yourself and trusting that your journey will inspire others to walk their own path. The woman who walks alone knows that the journey is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. The path that she treads is often fraught with challenges, doubts, and moments of isolation. But through it all, she grows stronger, more resilient, and more determined. This is the essence of personal growth. The ability to take the hardships, the moments of weakness, and the setbacks and use them as stepping stones to become more of who she is meant to be. Growth, especially when walking alone, requires perseverance and a deep belief that every difficulty faced is part of a larger purpose. Walking alone means that there will be times when the world around you may not understand your journey. People may question your decisions, your choices, and the direction you are heading. These moments of misunderstanding can be difficult to endure, especially when the support of others seems absent. But the woman who walks alone knows that the opinions of others do not define her path. She recognized that her growth is about something deeper, about forging ahead even when no one is cheering her on, and finding the strength to believe in her vision when others may not yet see. These moments of solitude and misunderstanding are not signs of failure. Rather, they are part of the process of self-discovery. They are the trials that forge strength, patience, and character. Growth requires change, and change often feels uncomfortable. The woman who walks alone understands that growth doesn't happen without pushing beyond her comfort zones. It requires stretching herself in ways that challenge her preconceived notions, beliefs, and limitations. Each step into the unknown, each leap of faith into a new phase of her journey pushes her toward greater understanding of who she is and what she is capable of. She is willing to leave behind the familiar and the safe in order to step into the new version of herself that is waiting to emerge. It is this willingness to embrace discomfort and to challenge herself that enables her to grow. She does not shy away from the hard work of self-discovery or self-improvement. Instead, she welcomes it as the process that is shaping her into the woman she was destined to become. Personal growth is also about learning from failures and setbacks. The woman who walks alone knows that failure is not the opposite of success, but rather an essential part of it. When you are walking alone, there is no one to fall back on. no one to cushion your missteps. But instead of seeing these missteps as setbacks, she sees them as opportunities to learn, to adjust, and to grow. She understands that failure is simply feedback. Feedback that helps her to refine her approach, to reassess her strategy, and to keep moving forward. Each failure is not a reason to stop, but a reason to dig deeper, to push harder, and to keep evolving. It is in these moments that she learns the most about her resilience, her perseverance, and her capacity to keep going despite the obstacles in her way. The growth that comes from walking alone is also deeply rooted in self-awareness. When you walk with others, it can be easy to lose sight of who you are and what you want. But when you walk alone, you are forced to confront yourself. You cannot hide behind others' opinions or the distractions of the world. You must face the truth of who you are, the strengths, the weaknesses, and the potential that lies within. The woman who walks alone is not afraid to look inward, to reflect on her experiences, and to honestly evaluate where she stands. It is this self-awareness that allows her to grow and evolve in meaningful ways. By understanding her own values, her fears, and her motivations, she is better equipped to make decisions that align with her true purpose. Personal growth is also about the ability to heal. When you walk alone, you may encounter moments of pain, loss, or heartbreak. These moments, though difficult, are often the ones that offer the greatest opportunities for growth. The woman who walks alone understands that healing is not a linear process. It is something that happens in stages, with ups and downs, moments of progress and moments of setback. But she is patient with herself. She understands that healing is a necessary part of growth. She does not rush the process or judge herself for the times when healing seems slow. Instead, she allows herself the time and space to heal, knowing that it is through this process that she becomes stronger, more compassionate, and more resilient. Another aspect of growth that the woman who walks alone experiences is the ability to forgive both others and herself. Walking alone often means confronting past hurts, both from others and from within. It means facing the wounds that have been carried for too long and making the conscious decision to release them. The woman who walks alone understands that holding on to anger, resentment, or regret only weighs her down and hinders her growth. Forgiveness is not about condoning the wrongs that were done, but about freeing herself from the chains of the past. It is an act of self-love and self-care, a necessary step in her journey toward becoming the best version of herself. Through forgiveness, she liberates herself from the emotional baggage that keeps her from moving forward. Personal growth is not a destination, but a lifelong process. The woman who walks alone understands that growth is ongoing and that each phase of life brings new lessons, challenges, and opportunities for transformation. There will always be new heights to reach, new skills to develop, and new aspects of herself to discover. She embraces this continuous growth as part of her journey, understanding that it is the process of becoming that makes life meaningful. She does not rush it or try to skip over the hard parts. Instead, she relishes each stage, knowing that every step she takes brings her closer to her full potential. Walking alone is not a sign of weakness, but of immense strength. It is the journey of self-discovery, of resilience, and of continuous growth. It is about facing challenges with courage, learning from failures, and embracing the discomfort of change. It is about becoming the woman you are meant to be through each experience, every lesson, and every step forward. The woman who walks alone understands that growth is not easy, but it is always worth it. The woman who walks alone also knows that her journey is not just about personal fulfillment, but about creating an impact that resonates beyond herself. She understands that her life, her choices, and her actions have the power to influence the world around her. Every step she takes, every decision she makes is a reflection of the legacy she is building. The woman who walks alone does not simply walk for herself. She walks with purpose, knowing that her journey is a catalyst for something larger, something that can inspire, uplift, and empower others to find their own path. The moment legacy is not about the things you accumulate or the recognition you receive. It is about the difference you make in the lives of others and the example you set for those who come after you. The woman who walks alone understands this truth. She knows that her legacy is not defined by her external achievements, but by the values she upholds, the lives she touches, and the change she inspires. She's not concerned with fleeting accolades or superficial success. Instead, she focuses on building something enduring, something that will outlast her and continue to impact the world long after she has completed her journey. This sense of legacy often comes from the quiet moments, the small acts of courage and kindness that may go unnoticed by the world, but have a profound effect on those who are paying attention. The woman who walks alone does not need the spotlight to create change, but he does. She understands that her influence can be powerful even in the most unassuming of circumstances. By staying true to her values, by walking with integrity, and by being consistent in her actions, she shapes a legacy that is built on authenticity and strength. Her legacy is not about being admired by many, but about being remembered for the impact she had on the few who needed her most. The woman who walks alone is also acutely aware that creating a legacy requires sacrifices. She knows that to leave behind something meaningful, she must sometimes put her own desires and comforts aside. Legacy is not built through ease or complacency. It is built through hard work, persistence, and an unwavering commitment to her purpose. The woman who walks alone makes choices that align with her higher calling, even when those choices are difficult. She does not take the easy path because she knows that the road to building a legacy is rarely straight or smooth. But she also knows that each sacrifice, each challenge, and each moment of struggle is a step toward creating something much bigger than herself. The power of the woman who walks alone lies in her ability to inspire others to find their own strength and purpose. When others observe her journey, they see not only her triumphs, but her resilience in the face of adversity. They see a woman who refuses to give up, who continues to walk despite the challenges, and who faces the world with courage, grace, and dignity. She becomes a model for others, a living example of what is possible when you commit to your own path, even when it seems impossible. Legacy is also about the ripple effect of your actions. When the woman who walks alone stands firm in her purpose, she doesn't just impact the people she directly interacts with. She creates a ripple that spreads outwards. Her choices, her words, and her example inspire those around her to act with greater intention, to live more authentically, and to pursue their own dreams with passion. This ripple effect can extend far beyond her immediate circle, creating a legacy that transcends time and place. The woman who walks alone may never fully understand the extent of her influence, but she knows that by walking in her truth, she creates a ripple that can change the course of many lives. Legacy is also about how we handle adversity. The woman who walks alone faces her fair share of trials, but how she responds to those challenges speaks volumes about the kind of legacy she leaves behind. When faced with hardship, she does not crumble or retreat. Instead, she rises. She meets the challenge head-on and emerges from it stronger, wiser, and more resolute. Her response to adversity becomes a part of her legacy, showing others that it is not the challenges we face that define us, but how we rise from them. The woman who walks alone also understands that her legacy is not just about the impact she has on others in her lifetime, but the seeds she plants for the future. The choices she makes today have the potential to shape the world of tomorrow. Whether it is through her work, her relationships, or her contributions to society, she is constantly planting seeds that will grow long after she is gone. She knows that the impact she has may not always be immediately visible, but that does not diminish its importance. Her legacy is rooted in the faith that the seeds she plants today will eventually bear fruit in ways she may never live to see. Creating a lasting legacy is not about trying to control how the future unfolds, but about being faithful to the process. The woman who walks alone trusts that her efforts, no matter how small they may seem in the moment, are contributing to something far greater than herself. She is not concerned with how the world will remember her, but with how she has lived her life. She lives with intention, with purpose, and with a deep desire to leave the world better than she found it. In the end, the woman who walks alone leaves behind a legacy that is built not on the accolades or accomplishments that the world celebrates, but on the integrity, the love, the courage, and the wisdom that she has shared with others. She leaves behind a legacy that is a testament to the power of walking in your own truth, to the strength of embracing your purpose, and to the profound impact that one life can have on the world. The legacy of the woman who walks alone is not just something she leaves behind. It is something she creates with every step she takes, with every choice she makes, and with every moment she lives with intention and purpose. In conclusion, the woman who walks alone embodies strength, resilience, and purpose. She is not swayed by the expectations of others, nor does she follow the crowd for the sake of comfort. Instead, she chooses to carve her own path, face challenges with courage, and create a life that reflects her deepest truths. Her journey is not just a personal one. It is a beacon of hope and inspiration for those who dare to walk alongside her, whether in spirit or in action. Through every step, she learns, grows, and leaves a lasting legacy that impacts the world long after her journey is complete. As we reflect on the powerful lessons of the woman who walks alone, remember that this path, though at times solitary, is one of immense growth, profound wisdom, and transformative leadership. May you each find the courage to walk your own path, to embrace the challenges, and to create a legacy that is uniquely yours. Thank you for your time, attention, and openness to this message. I wish you all the best on your own journeys, filled with strength, purpose, and the knowledge that you are never truly walking alone. Good luck, and may your path be blessed with clarity and unwavering determination.